Hello, and welcome to the Performer's Guide. My name is Krystin Railing, and today we will be discussing business models. One question I often get asked is, what is the difference between a business model and a business plan? The business model is a document that expresses the way in which your company generates its profit. The business plan is the company's strategy and expected financial performance for the years to come. So you can think of the business model as a model train and your business as the train itself. The business plan will be considered the track of which your business, the train, will operate on, okay? And so the business model is what we're focusing on today, is what you want to consider the model train for your business, okay? It will be the example of how your business will operate. One thing to consider when you're writing your business model and while you're creating your business is that your customers do not exist to buy your products. You exist to solve a problem for them. Oftentimes, as an artist or performer, we create a product or service and expect our clients to purchase this product from them. But instead, we want to think about it the opposite way. We want to think about what problem do our clients have, and how can our services solve this problem for them, okay? And so we're really gonna wanna focus on this topic the entire time we're creating our business model, okay? How can you, as a business owner, create a service that solves a problem for your clients, okay? So today we're gonna go over what's called a business model canvas. And a business model canvas is a strategic startup template for developing your existing business models. It's a visual chart with elements that describe your services and products and how the value proposition infrastructure affects your customers. So one thing to think about is, what are the benefits of writing a business model? Oftentimes, as a performer or small business owner, we come up with an idea and we don't realize that we're operating a small business until many months or years into the project. And a business model allows you to take a holistic approach of looking at your business before presenting the products to them to make sure you have the entire model outlined correctly. And if you're able to work on your business model, oftentimes you'll see that there are holes in your plan, and this will allow you to identify those and focus in greater detail on those areas, okay? So benefits of having a business model. This will give you a competitive edge over other performers in your industry. Most of my clients do not have business models. Most performers that I speak to do not have business models. So if you create a business model, you will already be steps ahead of your competition. Having a business model also gives you a unique reputation within the marketplace. If you are known for having a well-established business that is organized, articulate, and able to express its products and services to the client, it will generate a buzz in your community faster than if people don't understand what your business is or why you're presenting these services to them. What do you want to include in a business model? A business model should include your value proposition, customer segment, channels, your customer relationships, revenue streams, resources, key partnerships, key activities, and costs and expenses. So we're going to break down each one of these sections individually to go over how we would incorporate each one of these into our business model, okay? This is the business model canvas. This is the template that you will use to write your business model. You will want to print this out and have it in front of you while you are going through the rest of this section, okay? And having this visually available for you allows you to fill it out while we're working on each individual section. So as you can see, in the business model canvas, there are 9 sections. The value proposition straddles both sides of the revenue streams and your cost structure. So the value proposition is in the center because it is the heart of your entire business model. It is the thing that you want to think about the entire time when you're creating your business model. What is the value proposition? What are your clients' needs? And how are you going to solve that need? On the right-hand side is the revenue streams, your income, okay? And in this section, we want to focus on our customer relationships, customer segments, and the channels. So it's really important to understand who our customer segments are, how we're going to deliver those services to them, which channels, and then how we're going to continue the relationship with these clients after they've made a sale. All of these concepts together are what generate your revenue stream, okay? And then on the other side, on the left-hand side, you will see your cost structures, which are combined of your key partnerships, your key activities, and your key resources. All of these things combined make up your cost structure, okay? And we're going to go over each one of these in greater detail, but again, it is important and very helpful if you have this chart printed out in front of you while we go over the rest of the section, okay? So first thing you want to think about is, what is your product? Who is it for? What problem or need does it solve? Or what pain are you solving? Or what does the customer gain from your service? So this is called the value proposition. This is the value proposition template. This is a second template that is helpful for you to print out and have with you while you're filling out your business model. This is a deeper look into the value proposition, which is, what is your customer's needs and how are you solving those needs, okay? And so on the left-hand side, you have the products that you're offering, and on the right-hand side, you have the customer themselves. And I recommend starting with the customer because it's important to understand the customer and who they are to understand their needs before you can start offering a service. And I think oftentimes people do this backwards. They create a service and then try to fill that into their clients' needs. But if you can start this way, you are gonna be at a huge competitive advantage compared to your competitors, okay? So as a customer, someone who is potentially gonna buy your goods and services, the reasons they are purchasing a service is because they have a need, some kind of need, whether it is a want, they want something, they need something, or they're afraid of losing something. And so if you can identify these 3 sections for your client's mentality, it will help you understand the best ways to fit your services into their lives, okay? And if you can understand their wants, needs, and fears, you can provide an experience for them that gives them benefits and features that fill the holes of their wants and needs, okay? And so this is the value proposition. This is the most important part about the entire business model. If this is the only thing you do in your business model, it will be the most important, okay? And then you see on the bottom is substitutes. And this will also go deeper into analysis when we go into our competitive analysis of understanding what other services in your market could be a substitute for your services. And the more you can understand what those substitutes could be the better you are able to fill in those needs better than your substitutes. Okay? Great. Okay. So in order to understand the value proposition or the need that you're filling for your customer, you have to understand who your customer is. Who are they? Why would they buy your services? Where are they located? What is their social status? Or what are their demographics? This is crucial to understanding who your target market is. And this is an often misunderstood section of the business model, is the customer segment. So I recommend doing what is called a client avatar module. And you can look them up. I also have them. If you would like to contact me, I can provide one for you. A client avatar basically allows you to break down who your customer is into different sections and create an outline, a character outline for who this person is. And if you can understand who your client is, the better you can understand who your client is, the better you can understand what their needs are and how your services fill those needs. Okay? And one thing to really understand about the customer segments is there's not just going to be one customer segment. You may have multiple customer segments within your target market. And if you're able to identify multiple customer segments, then you can know how to direct your targeted marketing to each one of these segments to generate more sales that also fill needs for these customer segments. Okay? So the next section is your channels. You have your customers and you understand their needs. So the next thing to consider is, how are you going to deliver these goods and services to your potential market? And oftentimes as performers, we only think about the physical channels to perform physically in front of other people. But oftentimes the virtual channels get forgotten about or aren't as utilized as they could be. And so when you're creating your business model, you want to have a good understanding of what both your physical channels and your virtual channels will be. Okay? So once you understand who your clients are, what their needs are, and how you're going to deliver those goods and services to them, it's important to maintain a good customer relationship with each one of your potential clients. Because if you can create relationships with them, that is how you build ongoing clients and generate ongoing revenue. And I think a lot of times when people think about customer relationships, they focus on the first word, customers. How can I find more customers? How can I get more customers to buy my services? Instead, I welcome you to think about, how can I build relationships with more people? How can I build a relationship that provides a genuine service for people so that sales come naturally and they don't feel like I'm making a sale to somebody, okay? How do you get new customers? How do you get these customers to continue buying your services? And how do you get these customers to buy more of your services at a higher rate? So this is considered, how do you get, keep, and grow your customers? When you're thinking about your customer relationships and ways that you're going to create relationships with your customers, you want to think about all three of these concepts, which will help you with your sales funnel. And we will go over sales funnels in another webinar in greater detail. But for now, when you're thinking about your sales funnel, think about how you're going to get, keep, and grow your new customer base. Okay? Wonderful. So all of these three sections lead to your revenue stream. If you understand your customer segment, the needs that they provide, and you are building a relationship with them, revenue should come naturally. It should not be something that you have to fight for. So when you're thinking about your revenue streams, you again want to think about the fact that multiple streams lead to a river. And if you're only focusing on one income stream, it will stay a stream and it won't ever get thick enough to be a river. And so focusing on multiple different streams of income will allow you to generate income steadily over a long period of time. And again, oftentimes as performers, we just think about the direct sale transaction. A client purchases our service, we go and we perform for them, and they have given us money for that transaction. But oftentimes there are many other ways that we could be generating revenue that have been forgotten about. And these could include licensing, subscriptions, membership, recorded webinars like I'm doing here, sponsorships, advertising. There's a lot of different ways that we could be monetizing our brand through different revenue streams that I welcome you to expand in the way that you are generating your revenue streams, okay? Wonderful. So if you're looking at your business model canvas, the sections that we have just gone over were on the right-hand side that led to your income streams. And so now we're going to focus on the left-hand side of the business model canvas, which is the cost and expenses, okay? And so oftentimes when we're running a business, we don't realize that there are a lot of expenses that are going to be incurred through the business that if you're not paying attention to what they are, and if you're not outlining them ahead of time, they will sneak up on you. And it's important to understand what your resources are, the resources that you need. It's important to understand the resources that are already available at your fingertips so that you know where the holes are in your resources, and that way you can create partnerships that allow you to fill those resources, okay? Some resources could be land, capital, which is money in your bank that you already have, credit, many of us have credit cards that we could be using, partnerships. I'll go into greater detail of partnerships and the ways that this can generate more resources for you, because there's actually many different ways a partner can help assist with resources. Some of them include physical resources, labor, intellectual property, okay? And the other resources you're going to want to think about when creating a product or service is, does this business need a patent, copyright, or trademark? Many people start businesses and they don't even think about getting these things, and then they can have their business copied or taken right out from under them because they did not do the due diligence to get the patents, copyrights, and trademarks needed to start their business. So it's important to consider these before you start your business, because if you can understand where the holes are in your resources, this will allow you to ask for more money and the correct amount of money from a potential donor. Wonderful. So key partnerships. This is a really crucial way to allow you to take the burden of responsibility off of your shoulders. It allows you to have a wider variety of resources available at your fingertips, and partners in general allow you to bounce ideas off of each other. And for me personally, working in partnership allows my business to grow much faster. And so it's important to understand who your potential key partners are and what resources you'd like to acquire from them. So just a few types of partnerships are a general business partnership, joint ventures, strategic alliances, and the supplier-buyer relationship. We will go into greater detail of each one of these when we do the individual models of each section. But for now, you just want to think of the fact that a partner is not necessarily just a business partner. There are many ways that you can partner up with somebody without selling half of your business to them, okay? Or you can sell some of your business to them as well to generate extra income for yourself as well. And so there's actually a lot of different ways that you can utilize a partnership. Wonderful. So now that you understand who your partnerships are and the resources, you will want to have a good understanding of what activities this business will be running to generate the products and services to your customers that fill the value proposition. So what are the most important things that your company must do to make this business model work? And what production and problem solving answers do you need to find to make this work? And so the key activities could be, how are you making sales, but also how does the business, what activities need to happen for the business to function in general, okay? So all of these lead up to your costs and expenses. If you know what your resources cost and if your partnerships cost, and you understand all of your costs, then you can start mapping out your costs and expenses. Once you understand what the costs and expenses are of your business, you can start to analyze for yourself, what are the most important costs for your business? What are the most expensive resources that you're utilizing right now? What are the most expensive activities that you are trying to achieve? So if you can understand these three questions, you can figure out what's the most important thing you need to do and how can you do it for the least expensive way. And if you're finding that you have resources that are very expensive but not very important, maybe it's time to reconsider if this resource is something that you want to continue paying for. Or if you have something that is of great importance for your clients, but is of low economic expenditure for you, then this is something that you would want to incorporate into your business model. So you're really going to want to constantly be looking at, what am I offering and how much does it cost me to do this? Because if you can lower your costs while raising the value proposition, this is going to be the best way to set yourself up for success as a small business owner. So when you're thinking about your costs and expenses, you want to realize that you have both fixed and variable costs. And you want to have these both mapped out so that you can properly explain to a potential donor what the costs of operating your business are and how the donor will be able to see returns on their investment. One of the biggest things to think about with your costs and expenses is economies of scale. It's very important for a small business owner to be able to scale their business, which means to offer more services for the same amount or very little extra effort, okay? And so oftentimes when performers or artists think about economies of scale, they think, okay, I'll do twice as many performances, or I'll do twice as many art pieces. And that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a way to do twice as many art pieces without you physically having to do those art pieces of maybe not just selling originals, but offering prints or replications of your services. And so you really want to think about economies of scale. How can I replicate the service? How can I offer it to a wider audience for less time and less costs? Okay. Wonderful. So that is a brief description of how to write your business model. So now it's time for you to write your business model.